In this episode, we're going to discuss what I think people get wrong about Stoicism. Over the last couple of weeks and months, a few people have asked me questions about why Stoicism, and I generally answer with, it's a very applicable philosophy that works for a lot of different situations in your life. You can pick up a book and just open it up, and you'll usually find a quote or a letter in there that can help you work through a current situation. At the same time, having those conversations, those people have brought up what I describe as their opinions on Stoicism, and have been what I would think has been not quite right. They usually generally fall into the modern thinking within our language of what somebody who is Stoic is, and that's that cold, emotionless person. So having that conversation with those people got me thinking, are there other things out there in the world that people think negatively about Stoicism? And I actually came across three very common talking points that I find people would bring up when discussing what's wrong with Stoicism and the Stoic philosophy. And those three topics were no emotions, disconnected from yourself, and not being able to learn from situations because you don't care. Now, to start off this video, I want to sort of premise a couple of things. First of all, I do think the modern language idea of what a Stoic is completely wrong. This cold, emotionless person. I think the modern dictionary description of that word is wrong, period. It just doesn't fit the Stoic philosophy. The second thing that I want to sort of set out as an overreaching idea for this video is I personally think Stoicism basically boils down to one sentence: doing the right thing. Doing the right thing at the right time in the right situations and dealing with them and moving on. For me, reading Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, along with a number of other books written by authors who talk about Stoicism, I get this common theme about Stoics generally just do the right thing, or try to do the right thing, or learn from a situation so they can do the right thing the next time. It's always constantly assessing and preparing and getting ready for the situations of our life. So back to those three areas which I felt people were bringing up: the no emotion, the disconnected from yourself, and then not learning from your mistakes because you don't care. First of all, no emotion. I think anybody who's read Stoicism understands that you do get emotional from time to time. But I think what Stoicism actually teaches is about doing the right thing with those emotions. It's not being emotionless. It's not being completely cold and dead inside and not letting things affect you. It's about letting those emotions happen to you and then dealing with them in the right way. Seneca talks about this in his letters when he's talking to one of his friends about death. He's saying, mourn your friend, but don't over-mourn your friend. And I think this applies to positive as well. Celebrate a win, but don't over-celebrate a win, going on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram being like, look at me. That's what I think Stoicism really means. It's being emotional, letting those emotions happen to you, but not being over-emotional, not over-celebrating and being a bad winner, as well as also being a bad loser. So first point to cover, no emotions, wrong. Stoicism is an emotional philosophy. It's about choosing to do the right thing with those emotions. That is the key here. The second one, being disconnected from yourself. When I heard that, I was just like, have you even read a Stoic book? I actually think that Stoicism teaches you to be more connected to yourself because it's asking you to deal with your emotions properly. You could almost see these three as a nesting theory here. You've got no emotions, which is wrong. You obviously do have emotions and you are emotional. Do the right thing. Being disconnected to yourself, the second one, I actually think is completely wrong because nested within that, going from the emotional side, nested in that, you have to be super connected with yourself to understand what emotion is happening. And Stoicism, for me, has taught me, myself, how to deal with those emotions. I feel anger coming on, but is it anger or is it more jealousy? Envy, jealousy, anger, regret, all these different emotions can come on at different times. But with Stoicism, it's like, let the emotion come in, understand the emotion, and then do the right thing with it. Don't flip a table because you're angry. That's not Stoic. But is flipping a table what the rest of the world wants you to do? He's obviously not a Stoic because he flipped a table, I'm like, someone who flips the table when they're angry has anger issue problems and is being over emotionally and is being a child. Somebody who gets angry and then is able to deal with that anger, see the anger, name the anger, and then do the right thing, that's just not a stoic. That's someone who could possibly be into meditation or be a great judo or a wrestler who has that control, that self-control. But yet, that's the opinion of people who are negative about stoicism and say, oh, you're disconnected to yourself. Oh, you don't let those emotions in, so you can't feel emotion. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Stoicism is actually about connecting to your emotions, realizing what they are, and then doing the right thing about them. The next point, which I, again, was blown away, because this actually came from, I was watching a video where someone who's actually into Stoicism talked about how all their Stoic practices had made them not learn from mistakes. And I kind of wanted to question that and be like, Stoicism teaches you to prepare for all eventualities in life. You read Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, it's your civic duty to be prepared. As Seneca said, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. If you're not preparing for the best or the worst in life, how are you going to deal with it when it comes? This is why I refer back to my overreaching idea of Stoicism, and that's do the right thing. Doing the right thing means that you learn from situations. If you have no money in the bank and a financial situation falls upon you where you're having to pay out lots of money on something, what are you going to do next time? The Stoic in that situation wouldn't just be emotional about it. They would obviously deal with their emotion, be like pissed off about it, but then they would do the right thing. They would see the emotion and then move on and do the right thing and learn the lesson and set up a structure in their life so they wouldn't let that happen to them again. That, to me, is Stoicism in a nutshell. Doing the right thing in all areas of your life, whether it's financial, relationship, or with your jobs. It's doing the right thing. Marcus Aurelius talked about, don't argue over what the qualities are of a good person, just be one. Epictetus said, when are you going to stop letting yourself be nothing else but the best version of yourself? The quotes, now I'm paraphrasing those quotes, not saying them word for word, but these quotes basically dispel a lot of these anti or negative ideas that people get wrong about Stoicism. Of course you have emotions when you're a Stoic. You just don't act like a baby or over-celebrate things. Of course you are connected to yourself, because if you're not connected to yourself, how are you meant to understand the emotions that you're having and deal with them properly, just like they ask you to within the Stoic scriptures, teachings. I don't think it is scriptures, but hey, Christianity took a lot of information from Stoicism back according to history books, so we could call them scriptures, but let's not get too deep into it. And then the third point is, when you're not learning, I think that to me is completely non-Stoic. Not learning from a situation is so far removed from what Stoicism is teaching that if you say you're Stoic and you're going through some Stoic teachings, but you're not learning from things because you're disconnected with your emotions, you're not a fucking Stoic. You're not. You're just getting the whole idea wrong. So to wrap up this video and a little bit of a rant, because Stoicism to me is my philosophy of choice, because I find it very usable. It's got a great structure to it, and as I said at the start of the video, you can pretty much open any of the books and you can find a letter or a quote that can help you out in your current situation. Now, is Stoicism going to solve all your problems? No. It has its limits. Any philosophy or religion has an ideology or a bit of a lock or a limit to it. But what gets me a little bit, or gets me a little emotional, is people's wrong opinions on Stoicism. They've never really dived into it with any depth. And I'm no philosopher, and I'm no teacher. I'm self-taught. I've only read probably 5 or 6 books on Stoicism. I've read a couple of them 2 or 3 times, but there's not a lot of books out there on Stoicism. But you do reread Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, Seneca's Letters, The Art of Living by Epictetus. These books, and Ryan Holiday's books as well, and Tim Ferriss has talked about in his podcast, Ryan Holiday's books have been very, very good in this, as Ego is the Enemy and Obstacles the Way. These kind of books that I've read once or twice and I keep coming back to and I keep reading them, they really do spell out quite clearly, do the right thing within any situation. And that's my point here, and that's where I'm going to wrap up this video. Do the right thing. Think about Stoicism as a toolkit that you can use on a daily basis. Something that can help you push your life forward and help you in any situation if you look at the different quotes and the different letters you really can find something that's very, very, very applicable to anything you're going through currently. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that button for me. Also, if you want to subscribe and follow along, you'll get lots more content like this. Not only do I talk about Stoicism, I talk about supplements, I also talk about other personal development books and strategies and ideas that I'm implementing on my personal development journey. Thanks very much for watching today. Hope to see you next time. And as always, make it a good one.